Okay, so for this question, we're going to have to find the domain of the function f, which is a function of x and y. And in order to find the domain of a function, we need to find the values x and y where the function exists. Notice that this function has a square root in both the denominator and numerator, and square root functions only exist when the thing inside the square root is greater than or equal to 0. So this means that, okay, we have y minus x squared plus 4 has to be greater than or equal to 0. And we also have 5 minus y also has to be greater than or equal to 0. Now, notice that the square root of 5 minus y is in the denominator, right? So since it's in the denominator, the 5 minus y cannot be equal to 0. So we got to get rid of this and change this to greater than. Okay, so this thing has to be greater than 0. I'm going to number this 1 and number 2. And now let's work with these inequalities. So from inequality 2, we're going to add y to number 2. And when we do that, we have, let's write number 2. 2 is 0, less than 5 minus y. We're going to add 2, or not 2, we're going to add y to number 2. And when we add y, what I'm doing is we really want to cancel out the y's and bring the y to the other side. So now simplifying, we have y is less than 5, okay? So we have another inequality. Now we're going to use this and put it into number 1. But before I do that, I'm going to rearrange number 1 first. Okay. So first I'm going to subtract minus x squared plus 4 from number 1. So we're going to subtract minus x squared plus 4 from 1. So let's start with 1. We have 0 less than or equal to y minus x squared plus 4. And I want it to subtract that, right? So minus x squared plus 4 minus x squared plus 4. Okay, and so why did I do that? Well, really, I wanted to just cancel this stuff out, right? So I can move it to the other side. Okay, so expanding and simplifying, we have x squared plus, not plus, minus 4 is less than or equal to y, right? And then we know that this whole thing is less than 5, right? So here we have x squared minus 4 is less than y, and this whole thing is less than 5. Okay. So first of all, we know how the x squared minus 4 function looks like on the xy plane. So I'm going to draw the xy plane. X, y, here is 0. Okay. We know that the x squared function is a parabola, and it looks like this. So x squared minus 4, we just shift down 4 units. So let's say this is like minus 4. Okay. And let's say this is, I don't know, 5, right? So y has to be less than 5 and greater than this x squared minus 4 parabola. So, and it's greater than or equal to, so I'm going to make this a solid line. And less than or equal to, or less than 5, I'm going to make this a dotted line. And then we'll shade in that region right here. And this is the region here that we want. So the question asked us, find and sketch the domain of f of xy in the xy plane. So this is the xy plane, and this is the domain of the function f of xy. So this is the domain of f of xy.